I'm freaking out so hard. This episode was fantastic. It was such a good moment of release for all the tension that was being built up, and just, my god, it was so good. It simultaneously went by so fast, but at the same time felt like a whole hour with how much was going on. Ah! I don't even know where to start. The whole thing was just insane. I thought I was familiar with Mr. Takahashi's game, but apparently not enough because I did not see any of this coming, especially that ending. Baku got shot, and his heart stopped. Like, we've seen him die before when he was infected, but he was actively shot by three in the heart. But then he woke up in the hospital from episode 1? Like, at first I was wondering if it was a mid-season Ryuki situation, or maybe it could be a simulation, but then I saw people talking about how the lyrics of Visions make so much more sense, and how the opening ends with, like, the events of the episode rewinding and Baku waking up, and oh my fucking god, was he having prophetic dreams this entire time? And now he's going to spend the rest of the show trying to stop everything from going wrong? Is that what's happening? And not just that. In the preview, Code was talking about something called Project Somnia, so could it be that Code was monitoring Baku's dreams this entire time? Like, what is going on? I need to know now. I need to know everything immediately. And it's like that's why 5 and 6 were killed off so quickly. I was actually like really upset when that occurred because I thought their characters were super lost potential, but then Nox died next episode, so I was like, wait, this means they could come back, and I was correct. This is what I live for when it comes to week episodes, because even if you have a bit of doubt, the writer can come back next week and knock it out of the park. I'm so excited knowing that 5 and 6 are coming back because now we'll get to see and learn more about them, and hopefully, Baku can succeed in preventing their deaths this time. And speaking of the agents, sorry, my mind was so stuck on the visions thing that I completely forgot the insane amount of information that we got on the lady. She's like Nemu's biological mother. Does it count as biological if it was an instant virgin birth from a supernatural entity? I have no clue, but oh my god, now that I'm actually saying this, is Nemu just Ace in a different font? Yippee for Kamen Rider characters who were born from a supernatural force and separated from their mothers! The very wild baby speedrunning moment aside, the lady fascinates me in regards to how she views Nem. When Nomu first ended up with her, she referred to the baby as in it when communicating with Code about her, but then she quickly switches to calling Nemu her child after killing the Code agents. In like a minute! And the way she acts towards Nemu in the present, where she gets up in Nemu's space and is acting like she knows what's best for her, like, clearly the lady sees Nemu as something valuable in a way, since the reason she pushed Baku to his limit and was happy to sacrifice the agents involved was also Nemu could awake from her coma. But it doesn't feel very, like, motherly, if that makes sense. Naturally, not all mothers are the same, but it didn't feel parental, like more so possessive. Then again, apparently the lady's been awake for 20 fucking years, so I think she might be a little mentally off. Someone give her melatonin and the longest nap of all time, and I think she'll be fine. It's fine. And also, oh yeah, the lady is Agent 2. She was the agent before 3. So at this point, we know like every agent involved in the line of succession except for whoever the hell Agent 1 is. And what I find interesting is how much older the lady is than Baku. Which kind of sounds like a weird thing to think about, but like, hear me out. If the agents have been being indoctrinated into code from a young age, like what we know happened with Baku and Kuroha, then it could be the same for the lady, which could mean that code has been active for decades. Like, even more so if my theory about Zero is correct, and I haven't mentioned it until now because it's kind of a recent guess, but I've been wondering, like, since Zero also has the name of a number, I'm wondering if he was actually the very first agent indoctrinated into the program. Like, he's the literal patient Zero. And he's probably much older than the lady, so for all we know, Code's been existing for way longer than many of the agents have even been alive. Hooray for shadowy organizations doing questionable things and possibly hurting people for an indeterminate amount of time. And it's so good to see Zero again in general. Like, sure, he's no longer a very cool robot, or at least until the next episode, whatever's happening there, but he still fascinates me, especially with how he was acting this episode. He seems so disinterested in engaging with the problem, if that makes sense. Like, 3 was the one taking action to put Baku down, but Zero showed absolutely no intense emotion regarding it. When Baku was about to be shot, Zero was just accepting his fate. Like, he still reads as being interested in Baku, but he's not going to bend over backwards for him, which, funny enough, is how the lady was acting towards Nox. The lady may claim to hate Code, but she's pretty good at following the apathetic outlook when it comes to their agents, which would make sense considering she might have been conditioned to feel that way. And, as a contrast, 3 was someone who sought to immediately be on the scene to deal the final blow to Baku, like beating him down to the point where in the moment I actually thought he was going to tear Baku's arm off with his intensity. Aside from his murderous tendencies, though, Lord 3 looks incredible. The cape is so cool, the colors are so pretty, he's like a force to be reckoned with, and I'm already excited to see him in action again. I'm so excited. I want to learn more about Code so bad. Like, why is it they're trying to defeat the nightmares? Why do they want to capture Nemu instead of just killing her? Wouldn't that solve their problems? Unless, they actually want her as a resource for producing more weaponry for their agents to use. But, I mean, we suspected, something like that was gonna happen. And speaking of her, congratulations to Nemu for finally having her backstory revealed. Because what the fuck? I know Nemu had to have some strong connection to the nightmares, but I never thought that she would actually be one. Like, as in, like, she's full nightmare. She's clearly full nightmare. I mean, hell, I was expecting a pregnancy nightmare of some sort back when the baby nightmare was first shown, but this is not the pregnancy nightmare I was suspecting. But even though Nemu came from the lady, somehow, she's still clearly not cool with everything going on, which makes sense considering her personality and what she's been like up to this point. But I can definitely say that I called it. I called it so hard. I knew something big was going to happen between Nemu and Baku, and how it was building up from Baku's insecurities. I had a feeling. I win. I can read the subtext. Even though I didn't think about this exact scenario, but you get the point. I still win. Yippee, I'm the winner here. But Baku, though. Poor fucking Baku, man. Choosing to close off all his emotions just so he can focus on doing his job is heartbreaking. 5 and 6's deaths really fucked him up so hard, but it got to a point of just apathy, like what 3 displayed. Not only did he ignore the injured people in the headquarters, which is painfully unlike him, but he was fighting mindlessly, outright acting like the dog Code clearly wanted him to be, although admittedly, he was too rabid to be the dog that they wanted. Although you could tell there was still some Baku in there, seeing as his main focus was rescuing Nemu at all costs, like he promised her, though I doubt Nemu would even be remotely okay with how much of himself Baku was giving up for her sake. And the fact that he was using Catastrom consistently, up until the point he hesitated and it imploded on him, he was dead set on going through with everything. And now that Baku's in the present, that he's seen what he's done, I wonder if he's going to have a moment where he just, crashes, since now he actually gets to breathe with what he's done. I just feel so goddamn bad for him. He's going to be holding on to the weight of something that isn't even real. Get this man an actual therapist and send him on a year-long vacation. Oh, and one more thing. I literally do not know how to word this, but I was thinking about how Baku ended up where he was after episode 1, and it just hit me like a truck. The first nightmare we ever saw was the gun nightmare. and we now know that nightmare motifs come from the subconscious, but I don't think it was ever alluded to why Baku's was gun themed. But now, 3 shot Baku through the heart with a gun. Baku woke back up after being shot. I literally do not know how else to explain this, but I'm just wondering if it was a massive instance of foreshadowing or just maybe it'll come back up. I don't know. Ah, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so ready for the next episode.